welcome to my channel. Without further ado, let's jump right into it. I always loved fishing. There's something about the calm of the water, the soft splash when the line hits the surface, and the anticipation of waiting for a bite that just puts me at ease. It's one of those things that never changes. You know, it's simple, reliable. Most people don't get it, but for me, it's always been my go-to whenever I needed to clear my head. And that's what I thought I was doing that day. Just another peaceful day out on the lake. Me and my boat, floating without a care in the world. That's what I thought. But that day was different, and not the kind of different that leaves you feeling all refreshed and ready to tackle life. This day made me rethink everything. Everything. I packed my gear, loaded up the boat, and set out. The lake wasn't too far from my place, just a quick drive. It's one of those quiet lakes where you don't see too many people. Exactly how I like it. No loud boats roaring by. No one asking if I've caught anything yet. Just me, the water, and hopefully a few good fish. I got out on the water around noon, not too hot, not too cool. A perfect day for fishing. The sky was clear, the sun was shining, and the water was still. I figured it was going to be a good day. I should have known better when I saw those clouds. They started rolling in fast, real fast, out of nowhere. 1 minute I'm sitting in the sunshine, and the next, the sky's all dark, like some storm was brewing, but without the rain. I've been on the water enough to know when to pack it up and head in, but something about this storm, it was weird. The air felt thick, like it was hard to breathe, but the water stayed calm. No wind, no waves, just still, like the lake was holding its breath. I shrugged it off, figured I could get a few more casts in before heading back to shore. I mean, what's the worst that could happen, right? Well, I'm about to tell you. I cast my line and sat back in the boat, waiting for a bite. That's when I noticed it. A ripple. Just a small one at first, right out there by the front of the boat. Nothing unusual at first glance. Fish make ripples, right? But it wasn't from a fish. It was coming from something or someone. I leaned forward a bit, squinting into the water, trying to get a better look. The water was dark, like tea almost, but I could see something moving beneath the surface. At first, I thought it was a log or something drifting by, but it was moving too slow, too smooth. That's when I saw her. I swear to you, there was a woman right there in the water. Her face barely broke the surface, but I could see her. She had this long black hair, wet and sticking to her face, but it wasn't just the hair that got me. It was her clothes. I could see them, like they were floating around her in the water. They were colorful, but not in a modern way, you know? Like something old. I don't know how else to describe it, but it looked like, I don't know, something traditional, you know? Like I'd seen it before, but couldn't place it. Anyway, I froze, just staring at her. She didn't move much, just kind of floated there, her face half out of the water. And I could see her eyes. Man, her eyes were wide open, staring straight at me, but she wasn't blinking, not once. I couldn't look away. I don't know why, but I just couldn't. Then she started waving. I don't mean some friendly wave, like, hey there, It was slow, real slow, like she was trying to get my attention, but didn't have the energy to do much more than that. Her hand moved back and forth, barely breaking the surface of the water, and I could feel my heart pounding in my chest. I didn't know what to do. Part of me wanted to get out of there, but another part was just stuck, like my body wasn't listening to my brain anymore. I just sat there watching her. And then she started to rise. I'm not kidding, man. She started coming out of the water. First it was her shoulders, then her chest. I could see more of her clothes now, and that's when it hit me. They weren't normal clothes. They were something else. Then it clicked me. She was wearing the Hmong traditional clothes. It had those bright patterns, those intricate designs. That's what she was wearing, and it wasn't right. It wasn't right for someone to be out there in the middle of the lake dressed like that, just floating. The moment I realized that, everything clicked. This wasn't normal. None of this was normal. I had to get out of there. But before I could move, before I could even reach for the oars, she spoke. Or, well, I think she spoke. Her mouth didn't move. Not really, but I heard her. It was in my head, like someone whispering right in my ear, but no one was there. She said, "Come with me." That's all. Just 3 words, but they hit me like a ton of bricks. I froze again. I don't know if it was fear or something else, but I couldn't move. I couldn't think straight. All I could do was stare at her, those eyes still locked on me, still wide open, like she was seeing right through me. And those words, they just kept echoing in my head. "Come with me," over and over again. She kept rising, man. I swear, she was almost standing on the water now, and I could see her whole outfit. It was beautiful, honestly, like it was hand-stitched or something, but it didn't make sense for her to be there. Not in the middle of this lake, dressed like that. And her skin was pale. Way too pale. It was like she hadn't seen sunlight in years. My heart was pounding so hard that I thought it might burst out of my chest. My brain was screaming at me to move, to do something. But my body wasn't listening. I just kept sitting there, watching her as she got closer and closer. She wasn't walking, but somehow she was getting closer, like she was gliding over the water. Then she stopped right in front of my boat, not more than a few feet away. She was close enough that I could have reached out and touched her, but I didn't dare. Something about her just screamed danger. She tilted her head just a little, like she was trying to figure me out. And then, man, I'll never forget this part. She smiled. It wasn't a normal smile, not like one you'd see on the street. It was slow, like she was forcing it, and her lips were too thin, stretched too far across her face. Her eyes stayed wide open, unblinking, and the more she smiled, the more my stomach turned. There was something so wrong about it. I tried to look away, but I couldn't. I was stuck. She kept staring at me, that smile still plastered on her face. And then, slowly, she started to reach out. Her hand was so pale, and the moment her fingers touched the side of my boat, everything went cold. I don't mean a little chilly either. I mean bone-deep cold, like the warmth had just been sucked out of the air. That's when I snapped out of it. I don't know what came over me, but suddenly I could move again. I scrambled for the oars, fumbling like an idiot trying to get them into the water. My hands were shaking so bad that I almost dropped one, but I managed to hold on. I didn't even look back at her. I just rowed as fast as I could, as far away from that spot as possible. I could still feel her eyes on me, though. Even though I wasn't looking at her, I could feel her watching me, and that cold, it didn't go away. It just clung to me, making it harder and harder to move, but I kept rowing. I had to. Finally, after what felt like hours, I reached the shore. I stumbled out of the boat, nearly falling over myself as I tried to get away from the water. My legs felt like jelly and my heart was racing. I didn't stop until I was a good distance from the lake. Only then did I dare to look back. The lake was calm again. The storm clouds had cleared and the water was still, like nothing had happened. But I knew what I saw. I knew she was real, and I knew I'd never be able to shake the feeling of those eyes on me. I sat down on the grass trying to catch my breath, and that's when I realized something. The whole time I'd been rowing, I never heard a splash. Not once. She never made a sound. Not when she moved. Not when she touched the boat. It was like she wasn't even there, but she was. I know she was. I didn't go back to that lake after that. I couldn't. Every time I thought about it, I'd get this sinking feeling in my gut, like something was pulling me back. I didn't want to see her again. I didn't want to hear those words in my head again. Come with me. To this day, I don't know what she wanted. I don't know why she was there or why she waved at me like that. But I know one thing for sure. I'm never going fishing alone again. Not after that. Thank you for listening to this video. I'll see you in the next one.